It's getting close. My voice is getting higher. This is one for the little guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one for the little guys.
Paul Harkis, a strategist, is alongside two gentlemen who are enjoy him and a great day. Takuma Sato, who wins the 101st running of the Indianapolis 500, and Michael Andretti, who goes back-to-back and 3 out of 4 at Indianapolis, which certainly makes for a great day. And what was a nail-biter of a race. We watched all week and a couple of weeks, and it was clear that you were very strong, Takuma.
Yeah.
And not only that, we learned in 2005, or 5 years ago rather, and in qualifying, that you're not afraid when it comes to an opportunity to win the race.
Okay, thank
you
you.
are going to give it every inch you've got, and this year you got it done. Tell us about your emotions.
First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to the Michael Andretti and the whole team, Andretti Autosport. Without their support, obviously I cannot be here today. And the whole 30 months, with my teammates working extremely seamlessly well through the practice day. Fantastic qualify, very strong start. And one stage I lost momentum and go down to the P10 race. But I just get done in my job and believe the car does and believe the boys done the superb pit stops. So I know, like you said, when it comes, I had to give it 100% commitment. I knew I could do it, but just waiting the moment. And then the last few laps, there was a moment. And I know Helio is always come on charge, but he's just such a gentleman and with such a fair player. So I believed him, and we gone side by side turn one. It was job done. So the last 2 laps, car worked beautifully, and I just cannot thank enough everyone who supported.
We're going to just talk about the strategy of this situation, so we'll go to the far side there. I watched these restarts. I've been around a long time as you have, and I've seen them 3 or 4 wide. They're going into one. I've got one eye closed. I can hardly stand to watch the thing. Tell us about the strategy of getting this guy to the milk.
Well, I think the biggest thing there is that, we had good cars which were prepared. We have such a great team chemistry that all the cars were good, so we were all fast, which you could see right through the start there. So we were trying to stay there. We had our middle point of the race there. We had a little pit issue and dropped us back, but Takuma did a great job of keeping us ahead and just sort of working one by one. But yeah, when I watch them go into one, I just close my eyes half the time. I'm afraid, and I keep thinking, "Oh, are we going to make it? Are we going to make it?" But great driving, and I think he just did a great job today of keeping his head about him and doing a great job of racing up the front.
The guy who writes the checks was agreeing with the whole comment about going into one, Michael, but at some point, the prize we're talking about is the Indianapolis 500, and my hunch is, if given your druthers, you want a guy who's willing to go out there and go for it and grab that brass ring.
Hell yeah! We had the right guy doing it for sure. He just drove a superb race. I watched him very closely. There's many times where he was in a difficult situation and he would get out of the situation, and he showed a lot of patience and. But then when he had to go, he went. There was one move where he passed 2 cars on the outside and one, which was a very important move because that gave him the track position of the top 2 guys in front of him, and that was one of the moves of the race, in my opinion. And when I saw that, I'm like, whoa, I think we're going to win this thing, And he didn't let us down. He drove very, very well. I'm just so proud of everybody on this team. It's. The difficult part of having multiple cars is, not everybody's going to be happy, and there's some other cars that were very, very strong today that we had that ran into bad luck, and I feel really bad for them, but that's why we have 6 bullets in the gun, and he came through for us. Taco did an awesome job, and I'm so happy for him, and really happy for Honda. They've worked really hard to get us here, and I know how big this news is going to be tomorrow when they wake up in Japan. It's going to be huge, and I'm really happy for them that we were able to give them a win with our Japanese driver here.
Thank you.
This is one for Michael and one for Takuma. Michael, you're beginning to catch up with Roger Penske now. I know that was a big goal of yours, but back in October or November when you signed him, I remember asking you, I said, now he has a team that can properly give him the right tools, and you always said it's easier to take a fast guy and slow him down than a slow guy and make him go faster. What have you seen in the development of Takuma this year since he joined your team? And then I have one for Takuma.
Takuma brought a lot to our team. You know, he's got a ton of experience. He's very technical, and on top of it, he's a great guy. So he's just a great part of the team, and you know, he's done everything that I thought he was going to do, and I knew he was going to be fast here, and he definitely didn't let us down. He didn't let us down in qualifying, and he definitely didn't let us down in the race, and I'm very proud of that. I'm so happy to have him on our team.
And Takuma, when we used to go over to Motegi, you were treated like a rock star over there by the fans. You know, and I asked you earlier in the week if you're as big as Ichiro, but how big will this be received in your home country?
This will be mega big. I mean, I cannot imagine how it's going to be. Obviously, the Motegi time, it was Indy Japan. You know, it was a very good race, I thought, and the fans very appreciate for the. And for me, it's just personally, in a home race is always something special. But nowadays, a lot of Japanese the fans following IndyCar series, and particularly for the Indy 500, I know they're flying over from Japan today. Many people came, so I'm really proud of. What we achieved, and team gave a superb opportunity, and we showed finally the great result today. So I'm very pleased about it.
Over here for Takuma, right here. Thank you. First off, congrats on your win.
Thank you.
Elio was just in here, and he said when you made that final pass that you had a Honda, he had a Chevy. Chevys have struggled all week. He said that he didn't think he had enough horsepower. So on the flip side of that, when you did make that pass, knowing that you had a Honda, did you think that, you know, those last couple laps that he wasn't going to be able to challenge, and also just given the fact that two other teammates of yours,
Sure, I think
bad.
Honda as a package, they did a great job, and we already showing us some great performance from last year, but this year kept on going. And I know the Penske is particularly strong in traffic. They are coming under the gearbox, so once get tow and once I leading, I'm sure they can pass as well, which was the case today too. But like Michael said, 10 laps to go, I overtook them from outside, and that's really made me set a good position. And I know Helio is coming in the last 3 laps. He tried to attempt, and but I just got to believe myself and got to believe what the car capable with, and indeed, you know, come off beautifully. So I'm very appreciative for that.
Takuma, follow up on the Japan thing. Like a lot of people, we've been to the races in Japan. We've seen you almost carried from sponsor commitment to sponsor commitment. How soon do you have to get back over there? I'm presuming they want you in country quickly.
Well, I mean, talking about sponsor, I mean, today the Rufo Home Mortgage and Panasonic and Honda Firestone, everyone was a great support. And I always think that it's Japan was suffering since obviously 2011. Big earthquake, and I know all over the world many people are suffering from that kind of stuff, but still 250,000 people living in temporary house, and thirdly this one gives some energy, and with the Japan program still getting stronger, and any sponsorship is welcome to helping the children and the family over there. So I keep on going what we're doing, and the racing is the one part that I just passionately wanted to do it, and all the sponsors supporting on that program. So I cannot thank enough to them too.
When do you think you'll go back?
I don't know. It's going to be crazy. I mean, at the Long Beach 2013, I went back to Japan and did a press conference, and there was close to 300. The media was on the Honda first floor, and the fans really. It was crazy good in a positive way. So this one is even bigger, and this is like the best win in my life at this moment. So I just cannot still believe it.
Ziggy, real quick for you. Did you guys make any adjustments to the car all day? I mean, it didn't seem like you guys were in much of a panic mode at all.
No, the car was good all day. Garrett did a great job there, and we were confident on carb day with the car. We adjusted there, and it went. Taku wasn't happy with the car. We went back on it, and today was very minor. So a little one click of wing and a little bit on tire pressures, but really the car was underneath them all day, and it was very good.
Yes, Michael on your left. Congratulations.
Thank
One
you.
for you, one for Ziggy. Well, getting back to numbers, as an active owner now, you've surpassed Chip Ganassi, and I was wondering how much do you pay attention and plans for the future? And for Ziggy, how many championships have you got here?
Well, Michael's given me a few of them, so we're good. No, I think I was with Al Jr. when he won, and so I think this is number 3 or 4 for me. So I've been blessed to have good teams and good drivers that make my job easy. So today was special just because this is one for the little guys. So.
As I was going to say, I feel tall up here right now. It's still a pretty good feeling.
And again, though, being second, in the big 3, now you're in the big 2.
That's awesome. Somebody said that to me when we were down in Victory Lane. I'm like, whoa, that's a big deal. Because obviously I could never win it as a driver, and I think I said this a few years ago that maybe I was meant to win it a ton of times as an owner, and maybe when I'm 80 years old, hopefully I'll have more wins than Roger. So that's our goal.
Takuma,
Yes.
2004, you scored your Formula One podium here. Now you got the biggest one of your career. Just talk a little bit about what this place means to you.
Yeah, it's a fantastic place for me. Got on the podium first time in Formula One 2004, and back in the podium again, and this was the highest podium. And I don't know. It must be something in it here that I do love. Indy Grand Prix, always enjoying here, which unfortunately we didn't have a super competitive race on the 2 weeks ago. But I knew Indy 500 is something team prepare for a long time, and looking at the history and like we talk about with Michael, but just the winning, all the time here. Well, not all the time, but just so competitive all the time, and it's just a fantastic feeling. So I love this place, not just because of the winning, but the fans. So appreciate, I respect them. They give me a great speed and great confidence, and going to Town 1 is always great to see. So colorful, so full of people. This is a place, the mega place, and it's just a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, a week or so ago, the entire Andretti team was brought in here, and everybody wanted to talk to the new driver from Spain, and you sat down there and were virtually ignored. How has the world changed in 1 week or so?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, sorry. No. Fernando did obviously an incredible job. I mean, he was reading the race for the first attempt for the 500, and I was watching on the probably 5, 6, or 10 places back. I know all my teammates was leading and doing a group runs almost, and it was a fantastic. I mean, Fernando has a tremendous commitment to come here, skipping a Monaco Grand Prix, and show his smile all the time. He looks like really relaxed, enjoyed it, and he just drove such a professionally. And he's obviously one of the best guy. But in the 500, it is a race just you never know until very last lap. And I was so pleasure to walk with him, because he's just good old my friend in Formula One days. So great to walk to get together. And the Michael put everything together, and 6 drivers. I think we were happy team.
Yeah, for Takuma, congrats. As I recall, you didn't learn to drive until you were late teens, early 20s. Could you just talk about when you did start driving, and how much, now that you have this biggest win, how much longer do you think you'll be driving?
Sorry, so I didn't quite get...
When did you start driving,
yeah, right.
and how much longer do you think you'll be racing?
Okay, well, right. So it's a longer story making short. So I didn't have opportunity to when I was a kid. I always loved the cars and the motor racing, but I start racing when I was 20. So I know it's very late, but I just kept never give up, and I always challenge it. And that's why maybe I failed so made times too. But made a mistake, learn it, and then try to get faster or better, all the drivers. And then it comes along, got a scholarship from Suzuka and Honda. That's virtually launched me to the professional racing driver, and did a couple of years in the British Formula 3, and then won the championship from the Formula 1, and now here. And now I've got a proper equipment, a great environment. It was Michael, prepared as a superb team. So I'm so proud to drive one of Michael's driver. And then today we show the strength. So age is something for the athlete. Age 40 is something that you have to consider, how you're going to perform well. But I think we proved Helio was still up there, me up there, TK's up there. I think we trained really hard to maintain, and all it was is just heart and, mental. The mental strength is you can keep going. Someday we will have to retire, but I will have a more competitive race I want to now.
One question for Takuma and one for Michael. First off, Takuma, having come so close here in 2012, do you feel more redeemed or satisfied? And my question for Michael is, do you feel it being a little bit bittersweet, being that you had two other good bullets in the gun with RHR and Fernando that probably could have contended to win?
So it's such a privilege to win here. So whether that was the first attempt or an eighth attempt, or you had a dramas in the past, it doesn't really matter. You winning today is just super. It's just coming onto the top, nothing else. But yes, I do feel after 2012, I really need to correct something I left over. And today I was so happy that I made it turn one in a good move. So I have to thank to the Michael for that.
Okay. Sorry, what was the question? It's so long now. Oh yeah, there was. Well, that's what I said earlier. That when you have so many cars, not everybody's going to be happy. And I got to tell you, I wasn't very happy there when we started losing all those bullets. We had really strong cars, but they just seemed like everyone started to have problems, including Takuma when he fell down. Because of the pit stop, and I'm like, what the heck? And it was so weird because it was almost like that last year. We had two dominant cars, and then they both take each other out. And at that point, our best car was 20th. And it was sort of very similar feeling. I'm like, what is going on here? But I also knew because of that experience not to give up. That we still had some really strong cars, and then you just started watching Takuma start picking them off. I'm like, whoa, we might have a shot here because he had a really strong car all day. But yeah, I feel really bad for Ryan. I feel really bad for Fernando. Fernando drove a really good race for his first time here, and I really feel bad for Alex as well because he had a bad pit stop. He was a strong car as well, and unfortunately, I don't know what happened. I think Marco lost that winglet, so it was just. Seemed like all the other cars just had a lot of bad luck, including Jack, who got caught up in that debris. So, like I said before, that's why, we had 6 bullets in the gun, right? And luckily one came through.
Takuma, congratulations. When you heard your spotter tell you that Castro Neves was behind you, how nervous did you get?
It's always nervous, whoever it is, and I know Helio how to win here too. So, I was happy that it was only concentrate on him, not 5 packs, and we already have a good cushion between others. So, the Helio is the guy you can go for really hard with respect, and I can trust him as well. On track, off track, we got on really well. So. Having battle with him is always good, and given the circumstance, we had such a strong package, like Michael said. And when it was a new tire situation, so after the pit stop, everybody got fresh tire. The car not necessarily the fastest, I would say, because everybody could go flat out in traffic. In that time, I was really struggled, but. After 20 laps, our degradation must be the one of the best. And the Garrett, who is my engineer, works so specifically working for the consistent car, which I agree with. So we didn't have a super fast down the straight, but I think we had such a consistent car. Give me a confidence. Give me the moment when you need it, you can really commit it. That's how we win today.
Michael, you talked a little bit about the bullets, but specifically the engine trouble. We know Honda's had reliability problems. When those two went down, how much concern was there for you, for the guys you still had left, that their engines would hold out?
Well, you're obviously concerned, but we sort of knew that, you're going with the odds, and that, when you do have 6 cars, you're probably going to be, if there is a problem, we're going to have a few of them go down, and that's what happened. But you know, I don't blame Honda at all. I think, you know, if anything, I blame all of us pushing Honda so hard. And you know, they have come to us and said, so we can give you a little less reliable engine, but it'll have more power. So we all, of course, said, let's go for the power. And, you know, and when we did that, obviously, you know, we know there's going to be some sad faces, and that's what happened.
Michael, for those of us who covered the 1991 Indy 500, our jaws dropped when you went to the outside of Rick Mears in turn one, and then he came back with the same move, because we'd never seen that before. Today's race, it seems like we were seeing that on practically every lap. How do you describe the nature of today's race and just how vastly different it is from when you drove here?
It was really crazy because, you know, when I was here, they had the apron, so the track was much wider, so it was a bit easier. Here they were doing it. I mean, they were running 4 wide into turn 3. It was nuts. It was and they were, you know, basically pulling it off. It was just amazing. And then when he went into turn 1, 3 abreast, I'm like, oh no. And then it's like, whoa, what an awesome move. You know, it was just, but that's what you have to do because everybody's so close. The competition's so close, and you know, you got to take risks if you want. It's a risk-reward situation, you know, and so.
And then you've been a leading proponent of getting rid of the aero kit.
Yes.
With the race the way it was today, why would you want to?
Because I think, you know, it's not just about this race. I think it's about all year, and you know, I don't like that. You know, there's certain tracks where one kid has an advantage over another, and I just don't think that's good for our sport. I think everybody should be on equal ground, and I think it'll be much better for the fans that, you know, you have the Hondas and the Chevys on equal ground going at it at every racetrack, and it's not that way right now, and so that's why I'm for it.
おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
Last year, you mentioned me that the story is beginning in 1987 when your parents got the ticket and you went to Suzuka and you saw the race and Satoru Nakajima and Ayrton Senna was there. Would you put in words this transition and this whole journey? What does it mean to become one of the greatest Japanese driver? And what was the most sacrifice?
I feel so lucky because I think everybody support. I know when I was 10, my friend of my dad and the father took me to Suzuka back in 1987. You know, when I was 10, and look, at the very first time I went to the track, first time to see any racing car, that was Formula One. And you know, it was a gorgeous day for me. It just got me. And then since then, I was just crazy about motor racing. I just loved the car as a boy. But since then, as I said, I just didn't have any environment or anyone could give the chance until 19 and 20 years old. But when I asked my parents, give me a chance, because the school had the age restriction. You have to be under 20 years old. So when I saw it, I was 19. So following year, to me, the last chance as a first chance to go there. If I'm not good enough, by all means, you know, it's fair enough, I quit. But I just cannot stand without challenge it. I couldn't quit. So I was in university doing bicycle racing quite seriously, but I was ready to quit everything. I just wanted to focus the racing. And eventually, the Suzuka Racing School got me the scholarship. And that's how we started. So I have to appreciate everyone who involved the supporting today is only because their support. You know, it's not me. I was really lucky.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
What's that?